Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. We are back with the TED Show. I am so excited to have this gentleman on. Dr. Scott McComas is on the show. We're going to talk about how you can unlock the superhero within. If you read his bio, went to his website, this is the kind of stuff that we're all hungry for, which we talked about before we went live. I get so many comments on the show about, God, I just wish I could do this, or God, I wish I could deal with that. I wish I could be like that. And so Scott's going to share his journey and a lot of his insights with us so that you guys can kind of start to jump on that bandwagon. Welcome, Dr. Scott McComas. How are you?
Thank you, Ted. It's a really honor and a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me on.
I'm so excited. I really do not look a lot at bios, but I read yours and then I looked at your site. The stuff that you're doing really is life-changing. And I think people, we were talking about how, and I'll let you give the broccoli because that was good, but people don't like to, they want to be better. They want to move forward. They want to progress, but the steps in between can be painful or hard, or they don't know how to do it. Maybe they don't know how to unlock the superhero within. So before we dive into that, give them a little background on you.
So just to talk about a little bit about just the broccoli side of things, we were chatting earlier right before we got on, and I was saying about how I think there's a lot of perception out there about personal and professional development that it's broccoli. You know, it's good for you. You know, you should eat it, but it's broccoli. It's broccoli,
Yeah.
and my aim is to not necessarily like. In any personal and professional development, you have to lean into it. There's a growth process, and you have to be willing to get uncomfortable. And at the same time, that doesn't mean it has to be broccoli. And that's one of the reasons why I love the theme, the superhero theme, because it's playful. Now, I'm a gigantic nerd and a geek. Like, I come by it authentically. So
What did you tell me today is?
Today is National Superhero Day.
Can you guys believe that? That's amazing.
It is
Perfect.
It is National Superhero Day, and I was kind of like, wow, isn't that perfect timing? So it's your superhero self is all about just being your very best, and that can be challenging at times, and at the same point, like it doesn't have to be broccoli. You have some fun with it. You can have fun with it. And that's one of my main, like, I stand for hope, inspiration, play, and success for people. Like that's what I want to empower them to do, is to live with hope and inspiration and play and success. That's my intent.
How do they do that? I want to ask you, because you said that you want to make it so it's hopeful. I think a lot of people, They want to listen to you, they want to make progress, but because of their situation, their childhood, their current situation, they don't feel like they have the tools to do it. They don't feel like they know how to do it. Now, it sounds all good, Dr. Scott, but it's not in my wheelhouse, or, oh God, I love what you do, but I could never open up that much. What do you say to those people? How do they figure out how to get past that first, sometimes very difficult step?
It's the fear, right? There's a lot of fear that people can get stuck around in terms of making that first step. But the first step is just making the decision. Do you want to be better? If the answer is yes, then understanding the second part of this is understanding that it's a process and you're not going to be perfect. Like I go when I talk about superheroes and about being a superhero, this doesn't mean you're not going to have bad days. This doesn't mean you're not going to struggle at times. And it means that you need to be courageous at times. But it's all about the intention to step into being that best version. The skills will come because I found that when you ask, whatever you ask for, say, hey, universe, I'm looking for some help on getting some skills. Like, universe is going to start opening doors for you. Like, either through someone's going to mention a book, someone's going to mention somebody else who might be, a coach in some way, shape, or form. Oh, you need to listen to this podcast. That's all it is, really. It's that intention, and you get to decide how fast you want to do it and how far you want to push it. That's all in your control. It's all in your control. So, you know, I'm when like at summer barbecues, like when I went over to my uncle's place when I was a kid, you know, they have the pool, and most of my family, like, they would just jump right in. Me, no, I'm a one toe at a time type of guy. Like people say, that's why do you do it that way? Why not just get the shock over with? It's like, because I don't like doing it that way. I'm going to do it one toe at a time. So I did it one toe at a time. So it's all about it. It is your comfort level. Like you are in control of this process. You just need to make your choice.
Is there any wrong? We had some people before we went live. I feel like I'm going to do that. I'd like to figure out how to unlock the superhero, but I'm so afraid that I'm going to do it wrong. I'm going to embarrass myself. I'm going to take myself backwards. What do you say to those people?
I say there's no way to do it wrong, because the way that you do it is expressly and uniquely perfect for you.
I love that.
Things like I have when I do workshops around, creating that superhero identity, I have a little process I call speed, because I'm a Flash fan, because the Flash is like the most cool superhero. I'm a runner, and so super speed.
So of course Flash has got to be.
Of course Flash. So speed, but it stands for creating your superhero identity. What are the values that you stand for? What do you want to stand for? You get to choose those values. What are your powers and persona? You already have powers. You may not think you have powers, but you already actually do have powers. And a little playing around with your persona. What are your colors? What's your motto, right? What's your end game? What do you want to achieve? Or where do you want to go? Like the second E is, how do you empower other people? Because superheroes do good in the world. Superheroes are all about empowering other people. So what are you doing? How are you empowering other people? And that's even through something as simple as listening, like actively listening to people instead of trying to fix the problems anytime someone says, I had such a crappy day. Well, why didn't you do X, Y, and Z? And then just listen and create space and empathize, right? That, like, kindness is a superpower. Vulnerability is a superpower. Like, both of those things are huge superpowers that I think are very underestimated, because it's all about connection. So how do you empower other people? And then finally, D, which is the most important piece of this whole process, is, what is your dope theme song? Because every good superhero has a dope theme song.
What's yours? I gotta know.
It's a track from Iron Man 2. It's the theme track from Iron Man 2. But I have many superhero songs, like the original, like not the original, but the John Williams Superman. Oh,
yep. I love that.
Love that every time. Like, that gets me going every time.
So what do people do? Let's say that they're listening and they want very much to go, all right, Scott, I'm in, but I don't know how to get to that hero. Because a lot of people have baggage, right? That's the stop. There's blockades. We have limiting beliefs that kill us and hit us. Talk a little bit about the limiting beliefs, because I think that that's one of the things that people know they have it. They don't know how to label it.
Right.
But limiting beliefs they're self-inflicted. So talk a little bit about that, because I know that actually plays a part in whether or not people make the progress that they should be making.
Yeah, so it's really an awareness process of becoming aware of your limiting beliefs. Once you become aware of your limiting beliefs, you can start to make choices about if you want to change it or not. You can choose not to change the limiting belief if you don't want to. But if it's something that's stopping you, if it's causing you self-sabotage, learning about your beliefs and learning about how you tick, it's awareness. I have this kind of chain. You have to become more aware. More awareness gives you more choice. More choice gives you more responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. Responsibility. Break those two words up. Break it into two words.
Talk about that. I love it.
Responsibility. Because once you become aware of the limiting beliefs and how they might be playing a role in your life, you can start to find out ways, you can start developing the skills to be able to start overcoming them. When I talk about, when I go into some of the training that I do, it's all about controlling your controllables. You have three things that you have full control over: your mindset, your responses, and your effort. You don't have full control over your thoughts. You don't have full control over your emotions. Because I can tell you right now, I double dog dare you not to think of a pink elephant, Ted. Don't think of a pink elephant.
That's all I'm going to think about for the rest of the afternoon.
But we don't have full control over our thoughts. I mean, we are, like you said, there are the limiting beliefs that we accumulate over a lifetime of experiences. Like, we're an iceberg. Like, conscious thought is like 5%. It's what you can see above the water. Your unconscious is 95% below the water. You don't have control over that. What you do have control over is how you respond when you become aware of that, of the limiting belief. And that takes time and takes effort, because, sometimes,
wait, I'm not going to get it right away. I'm not going to know it right away, and therefore give up, and I'm going to get discouraged.
Right. Exactly. I mean, setting the expectations is important. You're not just going to get over an abandonment belief in 24 hours. It's not going to happen. And that's okay, right? Welcome to humanity. Like, this is where the real connection and real, the beingness of being human comes into play, and allowing the space to be human. Because it's okay. Because, like I said, superheroes have bad days. Superheroes struggle. It's okay. Like, if you watch any of the superhero movies that are out nowadays, it's like they get their butts kicked pretty hard before they win in the end.
Bad. But they still have an idea, I feel like, of what their superpower is.
Yes.
But they still have things that get in the way, external things or even internal things. So I love that you have that thought process, because I think a lot of people look at superheroes and go, I wish I was one. You are. You just have to kind of whittle away at it and chip away at it. And the superheroes, like Scott's talking about, we've all seen the movies. They all have failures, relationship failures, business failures, accomplishment failures. They are going through it just like all of us are going through it. The great thing about them, I think, is that they still at the basic level know what their power is.
Yeah.
And so they always will come back to it. I think a lot of people don't know how to identify what their superpower is.
That's part of the discovery process. That's part of the awareness process. Because it again, it's, being your superhero self, like, it's all about working to be that best version of you. Yeah. Will Smith did an interview with CBS years ago, that basically he was asked, what's the secret to your success? And he said, I built a brick every day, and I built the best brick that I could every day. And then I put that brick down, and then the next day I built another brick, and that brick was a little bit better than the brick that I built the day before.
Love it.
And just until you start building whatever you want to build out of the bricks.
So what do people do as we start to wrap up this, how fast it goes? What do people do if they're watching this? We've got a lot of love and comments. We had a whole bunch beforehand too, by the way. What is it that people can do with you? Do you help them along their journey? Talk a little bit on the business side, because I think it's good for people to know that you're here, you're telling them the amazing things they can do, but you also have the ability to assist them.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that. I am a motivational speaker and trainer. So I enjoy speaking to groups, delivering motivational, inspirational speeches, as well as our talks, as well as doing trainings in like what the speed that I just mentioned. Like, that's my workshop on discovering your superhero identity. Like, this is the foundation of your superhero identity, your unique superhero identity. But I also do a lot. I like to also rely on my sports psychology background, which is all about performance psychology. I love helping people get to that next level of performance. So, for instance, I do an energetic training that is all about being able, so let's say you're about to have a conversation, a sales conversation, or you're about to step up and do something like this, where you're about to be live with Ted on the TED Show. How do you energetically put yourself in the right space to show up as that best version of you?
Right.
So I do trainings and workshops and seminars, and those are on my, a sampling of those is on my website. And I also do, and like I said, I also do speaking and also can craft training. And I will be opening up a YouTube channel starting in about 3 weeks.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. That's going to also debut and do superhero training once a week, and we'll get sponsors, and so
tell me what you do before we head out, because we were talking about how all of us have the issues that we deal with. When you get something that is a obstacle or maybe a limiting belief, what are some of the things that you do or at least one thing that you do that's a practice, that's either prayer or meditation, exercise? How do you filter it down, take it, ingest it, and then still are able to get past it so it's not a lingering issue for you?
Absolutely. That's what I have coaches for. There is that, like, I exercise 5 days a week. Like, it's non-negotiable.
God bless you. Me too. Oh, did you say 5 days a lifetime? Yes. All right. 5 days a week.
Can't like need the exercise. So the exercise is one, it's one pillar of my self-care. But when I do encounter the turbulence, when I do encounter the struggle with, when the limiting beliefs feel like they're a little overwhelming, that's when I start to lean on my support network. And I've built a support network of people that I love and trust to be able to go to and get their support, and to be able to reorient myself, because it's like, I know I've got the blinders on at that point and I can't think quite straight enough, and I need someone to help me to find possibility again, because once I can see possibility again, I'm empowered. Yeah. It's when I don't see possibility that I really struggle. And I think that may be true for other people as well.
100%. And honestly, guys, as we head out, you guys all watch the movies. Let's use Avengers. They're a group. They have a name. What do? They lift each other up. They support each other. They all know what each other's weaknesses are or potential weaknesses, and they try to find ways to support them and lift them up. And that's what Scott's talking about overall, is having that support system there for you. And if you don't have it, find one. Yeah. Trust me, it's critical. All right, so go to Hero You2. That's HEROYOU2.com. It's scrolling across the bottom. Dr. Scott McComas, you're awesome. That was an excellent, excellent show. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you for having me.
Beautiful. Superhero right here. He's got some secret identity with that hair, and he's got this going on. I mean, look at that. I can't wait to find out what superhero he is. But thank you for sharing that. A lot of people needed to hear that. I think we all need to be reminded we've got that superhero. Now let's figure out how to get to it. So
thank you. You have a spark of greatness, and it's an amazing thing.
Amen. You too. All right, guys. We love you. We'll see you back here soon. Reach out to Dr. Scott McComas at HeroYou2.com. You guys, you want that superhero, and you have it. Let's find out what it is. All right. Thanks, Scott, so much. You're amazing. You guys.
Thanks, Ted.